There's this huge conjunction that everybody's talking about, and I thought I would get on it to give you guys the super quick version of what it is and how to apply it to everyday life. We are talking about Venus, planet of love, values, relationships, money, and Jupiter, Mr. Big, blessings, abundance, seeing the bigger picture, understanding the why behind life's situations, optimism, and moving forward. Those two are coming together, conjunct, holding hands with, sandwiched on top, in the sign of Cancer. Home, past, memories, mother, sister, family, father falls into that too, siblings, living location, ancestry, and emotions. And Jupiter is what we call exalted in the sign of Cancer. Simply means he loves being there. His powers are turned up when he goes through the constellation Cancer. And Jupiter takes about 12 to 14 years to go through all 12 zodiac signs. So think about the rarity of this. When Jupiter enters Cancer, it's a once every decade or so transit. And now Venus takes roughly 1 year to orbit the sun, to go through all 12 zodiac signs, whereas Jupiter takes about 13. And so the rarity of them meeting at the same exact degree in the same exact constellation, the constellation that Jupiter is at its peak intensity, and Venus just loves, it's not her favorite, but she loves being in Cancer. Who doesn't love home, right? Venus and Cancer. The fact that they're meeting up at the same exact degree, the 26th degree in Cancer to be exact, is extremely rare and beneficial. And a lot of astrologers are calling this the luckiest day of 2026. Now, I think that's beautiful, and I love that, and I'm hopping on that bandwagon of, ooh, okay, let me get in on that. That feels good. I'm feeling good. But I don't want to completely be so optimistic about it, because I know that there are some people who are going through really difficult situations and decisions right now, and who might look at astrology and go, yeah, right. It's kind of like organized religion. When you see someone innocent going through something terrible, traumatic, and you're like, would God really allow that to happen? Right? If you pray to God, why would something like that occur? I never want astrology to dip into that feeling. So I just wanted to come on here and talk briefly about Venus conjunct Jupiter and give you some quick horoscopes. How, remember, cycles of perception, not a guarantee of outcome, on what area of life, as per your rising sign, this great conjunction, the quote-unquote luckiest day of 2026, may be activating for you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Astrology Lounge. It's your host and astrologer, Stephanie Powers, recording live from outside of beautiful, hot, humid Austin, Texas. We are at Twin Moon Ranch, our astrology-themed ranch, where we are building, and having so much fun doing it, discovering ourselves. My man over here, who is the head honcho in charge of the vision, the design, the creation, he's amazing. He's a Virgo with a 25-degree Cancer rising. So when I saw that this great conjunction's at 26 degrees Cancer rising, I was like, whoa! Get over here. I need to talk to you. Are you okay? What's going on? And, he's doing amazing. He's got some of the coolest things on the horizon for him that I've ever seen. And so this week I've got my eye on him. Like, okay, this conjunction is blessing your ascendant. The first house for all of you Cancer risings listening to this is the house of you. There is no other house that is only about you. This is for everyone, no matter what your rising sign is. House number 1 is the only house that has nothing to do with anyone or anything else but you. So if you're a Cancer rising, lucky you during this transit. Be sure to visit astrology-lounge.com for more ways to learn astrology off the podcast airwaves and to book a one-on-one private reading with me. Whoa! Do you guys remember the story I gave you about a month ago about a very unfortunate incident that happened right next door to my ranch? A plane crashed, a private plane carrying a bunch of people, about 4 to 5 people in their 30s, around my age, going to play pickleball. They were traveling here to the Texas Hill Country to a pickleball tournament, and it crashed. And I heard the entire thing because it was right next door. I thought that I would just say, okay, that was really scary and unfortunate and sad, but here's life. Every time there's a plane near me, I go, what's going on? And last Monday, there was a helicopter flying super low around our ranch, just doing circles. And you thought, well, we're in the country. Sure, people are probably running exercises or teaching how to fly a plane. That's not uncommon. But it kept doing circles for 20 minutes. And then 20 turned into 30. And then 30 turned into an hour. And I was like, okay, this isn't right. My spidey senses are up. I checked the FlightAware app. Do you guys use that to track commercial flights? See when you have to go pick someone up from the airport? It's the best. But I checked that and I see that this helicopter has done hundreds of circles around a very condensed area, again, right next to our ranch on a certain road. We do a little research, connect with people on the social media, and they were trying to get someone who had a warrant out for murder and multiple other things. I'm just like, okay, anything with propellers has got to go. I don't want leave it to twin Scorpio moons to have property in the midst of such chaos all the time. But anyways, yeah, we have Scorpio moons. And I want to share something too. As natal Scorpio moons, my partner and I, we've been analyzing the transit of Pluto in Aquarius. You guys are very smart listening to this. I swear some of you know astrology better than I do. You're amazing. Absolutely. I love our conversations when you guys book readings, by the way. Oh, I can't believe I get to wake up and talk to such amazing people. But we've been looking at Pluto and Aquarius because if you have a Taurus or a Scorpio moon, then Pluto is squaring it. And squares, those 90-degree angles, are typically associated with tension. I got to tell you, I haven't really seen much tension. I've seen massive growth. I've seen if you throw yourself into the fire of difficult change and 75 hard life, I've seen massive success and big growth and taking power back and great transformation. So JL went first. I'll be going next in the next 5 years with my 16-degree Scorpio moon. But I just wanted to share that as a professional astrologer who is analyzing real life situations of people around me who are having quote unquote difficult transits. This kind of bleeds into our Venus conjunct Jupiter episode because while that is so amazing and fluffy and abundant and cool, I gotta tell you, I don't believe that there is good and bad, that there is lucky and unlucky in astrology. I believe it is the way you perceive it. It's cycles of perception. When I was understanding that when I went through the identity crisis when I was 30 years old, fresh at my Saturn return, and discovered there's more to my birth chart than my Sagittarius sun, I thought, it's gotta be more Sag, maybe some Leo. And I just thought, as a little 20-something adolescent brat who was always like, since I was in high school, always like, ugh, Scorpios. Yuck. Too gothic, too dark, too serious. Thank you, next. Not my sign. So when I met a cool friend and she was like, let's come over to my apartment and study astrology. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the dream. She's like, what's your birth time? Text my mom. My mom instantly sends it back to me. 3:01 p.m. down to the minute. I'm like, oh, nice. This is going to be precise. Scorpio moon, Pluto and Scorpio, Scorpio Venus, 8th house stellium. Why, Saturn? Why would you do this to me? I mean, it was such the perfect entry into a Saturn return of learning, hey, you got to incorporate this side of you. You've been pushing it away. Bring it in. You read about it and you read that Venus, she likes being in Cancer because it's soft and sweet, but she hates being in Scorpio or Virgo. You read about the moon, I think it's in detriment or fall, they call it, in Scorpio, like it's awful, your life's going to be miserable, full of turmoil. And I'm like, Jesus, slow down. Some of these old astrology books that were written in like the 90s, maybe the early 2000s, I'm like, would you relax? Who hurt you? These are so dramatic and like, I get it. They're not wrong per se, but it's also like, hey, come on. That has not been my lived experience. And this is why I always want to preface things with you, for you guys, like, hey, trust your gut. Don't give me the power to predict your life. Do not do that. Listen, with grounding energy in yourself and know that I am just some girl with a microphone in a studio. I don't know the ins and outs and the details and the nuances of your life. So if I say something that gives you truth bumps or makes your ears perk up or makes you feel optimistic, because that's my goal, is to give you optimism to keep going in life and find yourself and be confident and secure in who you are. Take that. But if I say something that makes you feel nervous, scared, uncomfortable, or like make you squeeze your eye, maybe, no. Don't listen to that. Let it go in one ear, out the other. Retain your autonomy. Love always, your Sagittarius astrologer. Let's get into these horoscopes. Venus, Jupiter, conjunct, good luck. Let's go through the rising signs. That is where you will find the most accuracy. So listen to that first if you know it. If you don't, listen to your sun sign, of course, see if it resonates. And if you're going through more internal, soft, emotional changes, listen for your moon sign to see what areas of life could be getting blessed. Now I'm going to tell you, the area of life that Venus and Jupiter are meeting in your chart based off of whole sign, like we talked about last episode, go listen to that Placidus versus whole sign EP. What area of life this most abundant day of 2026 is giving you a gold star? And I'm going to pull the moon into it because, interestingly enough, right around the exact time that Venus and Jupiter hold hands, 26 degrees Cancer, it will be forming a perfect trine to the moon currently transiting Pisces in the late degree. I think it's almost to the 26th degree. So let me grab my degree sign now that I think of it. The 26th degree is a Taurus degree. Okay, so that's pulling in money, self-worth, hidden talents, and a sense of grounding. I like this a lot for us. So I'm going to pull in the trine to the moon in Pisces to tell you what area of life is being supported by this blessing. All right, let's kick it off with Aries. Aries, this blessing is in your fourth house of home, family, the past, where you physically live. Lucky you if you're looking to buy or sell a home. If there's something with your family you're hoping to get a blessing from, this is an amazing gift. Now, shortly after this, Venus and Jupiter are going to move into your fifth house. So this is like a culmination of something you've been waiting for a very long time, perhaps, when it comes to home, family, where you physically live, coming to a head. And then it moves into your fifth house of fun, hobbies, creativity, fertility, romance, dating. There's something coming to a close with a very heavy emotional chapter that releases you into feeling alive, finding fun in life and dating, and maybe fertility, conception, pregnancy all fall into this as well. Finding that shortly after. This conjunction is forming a trine to the moon in Pisces that will be in your 12th house of closure, endings, the subconscious spiritual retreat. This is a very karmic, I'll use that word, spiritual, God-given blessing for sure. Taurus risings. This great conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Cancer is kissing your third house of the mind, the way you think, the way you speak, the way you communicate. This is also messages. You could be receiving some really good news that you have been waiting to hear for possibly 12 to 13 years since Venus and Jupiter were last in the sign of Cancer. Short distance road trips may be beneficial, getting some information there. If you podcast, if you blog, if you write, teach for a living, this is a huge boost to that. Now, this is siblings as well. Siblings and neighbors, the local environment. It's like you're on an Easter egg hunt in your local environment. Good news, good lab results, good tests, something miraculous that completely changes the way you think and speak and teach. Now, shortly after, Venus and Jupiter will be moving into Leo, July 1st. That week is beautiful, and it has an invisible thread to this conjunction. And that is your fourth house of home, family, physical living location. Some news, some communication, some message, email, text, phone call that you're going to receive around middle, late June is leading into a huge blessing and happiness in where you physically live, family expansion, maybe family moving in, moving out, perhaps a pregnancy announcement, finding out there's a pregnancy, a birth. Jupiter expands fourth house of family. Very often we see a bigger house, we see a dream house, or we see literal family expansion through the birth or the pregnancy of a child. Now, it'll be forming a trine, supportive energy to the Pisces moon transiting your 11th house. On the day, June 9th of the conjunction, there is support to your 11th house of social media, networks, friends, groups, but overall, your hopes and dreams. Taurus rising, I feel like your hopes and dreams have been hit or miss. High and low and erratic, and am I ever going to get there? I really do think that you're there. Let's just say that. Gemini risings, this great conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Cancer is in your second house of earned income, self-worth, material items. Are you guys buying a house? Are you moving into a dream space? Are you reclaiming your space? Are you adding a new stream of income? Are you feeling really good about income? Something about money here, guys. Receiving money from family, inheritance, I don't know. Something with money. Now, shortly after this conjunction, it's moving into Jupiter and Venus are moving into Leo, which is your third house of the mind, communication, teaching, writing, speaking, your local environment, neighbors, friends, siblings. This tells me that something about money may have to do with writing, teaching, speaking, groups of people in your local environment, not necessarily on the internet, but something local to you. Or maybe you're going into business with a sibling. I don't know. Maybe you're receiving news shortly after, in the first week of July, when Jupiter goes into that third house, of a new way to make money, perhaps. Now, on the day of the conjunction, there's a trine, supportive energy to the moon in Pisces that will be in your 10th house of career and the direction of your life. So something tells me, Geminis, that this financial thing is supporting the direction your life is taking, but ultimately your career, depending on if you're currently working or not, something about the entire trajectory of where you want to go and what you want to achieve in life is being supported by this blessing in the second house. How this could turn out, knowing Uranus is in your first house, is you realize you're financially okay. You know, there's so much magic that comes up when we realize financially all of our needs are taken care of. Now what can I do? That's the energy I'm getting for you guys with this. Cancer risings, this is your time. Venus and Jupiter are meeting in your first house. Ooh, as it starts to rain and a rainbow forms in front of me. Cancer risings, please go fill out that contact form on the website, astrology-lounge.com, and tell me what is going on. Tell me about your good news. Tell me about your miracles. I'll be waiting. Venus and Jupiter are meeting in your first house. If you are a Cancer rising between 20 degrees and 29 degrees, you're like at the Vegas slot machine and you pulled the slots and it hit 777 and all the lights are going off and you just won so much money. That's what I'm feeling for you guys. It's your first house. It is a blessing that has nothing to do with anybody but you. The first house of the physical body, the first house of a blessed new beginning, the first house of, this is the time you reflect back on and say, that's when everything changed. That's when my life finally took a turn for the better. Now, later on, early July, coming right up, Jupiter and Venus will move into Leo, your second house of earned income, money, and your self-worth. So something about this blessed opportunity in the first house is either going to give you a new income stream, give you a new job, or make you feel so worthy that you make decisions after this time frame of who to be with, who to not be with, where to work, where not to work, where to live, who to call home, who to call family. It's like you're only going to surround yourself with things that increase how good you feel about yourself. And as a default, probably how much money you make. Now, the day of the conjunction, there will be a trine to the moon in Pisces in your 9th house of your belief systems and larger perspective in life, international travel, court systems. This tells me there is great support to getting over a court case, to international travel, or simply to just seeing the world from a completely different vantage point, from a bigger perspective. Cancer risings, it's kind of subtle, but it's so huge. It's like after this time frame, you're rarely going to find yourself in situations where you feel deflated, used, uncomfortable, unhappy, because you're only making decisions, if you utilize this transit, that make you feel worthy and very valued. Leo risings, this great conjunction between Jupiter and Venus in Cancer is happening in your 12th house. This is a quiet, synchronistic, spiritual, comes to you in dreams and visions and tarot readings, psychic readings, or at church, in your worship, in your meditation, in your prayer. That is where you can see, I'm starting to feel better subconsciously. It happened quietly. I didn't even notice the day it changed. It just changed. Now, shortly after, pay close attention to this, the first week of July, Venus and Jupiter are moving into your sign, into Leo. It is your time to shine, and I'm so excited for you guys. It's moving into your first house. Identity, self, new beginnings. So something about this, like super intense emotional closure happening in your mental health. Maybe you're getting sober. Maybe you're getting over someone finally from the past, is moving you into a brand new era. When Jupiter especially enters the first house, this is the beginning of a brand new 14-year Jupiter cycle. Very big deal for you guys. I want to talk to you and see how this is going. On that exact day, there will be a trine to the moon in Pisces in your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, trauma, transformation, healing. And when I say trauma, it's the transformation of trauma turning into power. So there could be an inheritance that supports this. There could be a deep psychological therapy session, conversation, real love from someone that heals this. It's a very quiet but very intense blessing for you that really changes how you move about the world, honestly, from here on out. Virgo risings, this great conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Cancer is in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, community, friendships. New friend? Absolutely. Friend from the past resurfacing? High chance. Your dreams, 11th house is, what would I do if I retired and money didn't matter? The answer to that is highly likely to come to you. I feel like Virgo risings have really been struggling with, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I feel like this conjunction is finally giving that to you. Now, later on, the first week of July, Jupiter and Venus will move into your 12th house, subconscious healing. So something about finding this passion is healing you on such a deep spiritual, psychic, religious level. Getting sober, getting over addiction, healing things that have plagued you mentally for years, decades, not since you were born. Powerful. On the exact day of this transit, there is a trine to the Pisces moon in your 7th house of relationships, marriage, and partnership. Something about meeting someone, getting married, divorce, or a business partnership, support from a partnership to start a business or achieve this dream. Highly likely. I love it. Libra risings, this great conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Cancer is in your 10th house of career and the overall direction your life is taking. Done. Simple. There is some blessing, a promotion, a raise, a business. There's something with career and your purpose likely to be blessed under this conjunction. If you're not currently working, this is overall the direction of your life. It starts to feel really good with where you're going. Now, later in the first week of July, Jupiter and Venus will move into Leo, which is your 11th house. This is, we go farther together. I am achieving a dream based off of my friends, my community, my hopes and dreams are finally starting to reveal themselves through that blessing in the 10th house of career. Maybe some of you are retiring and moving into that era, and it's this whole new world for you to have fun in and meet new friends and do new things. I don't know. There's some moving and shaking with the direction of your life, career, hopes, and dreams. I love it. On the exact day of that conjunction, June 9th, there is a trine to the moon in Pisces in your 6th house of day-to-day routine, co-workers, and health. This could be you and a coworker branch out. A coworker nominates you for an award. It could be a pet coming into your world. Never underestimate the love of them. But there's a trine to the 6th house. And so this is like, I feel support to get my day-to-day routine and my health back in order, because when I start to achieve my dreams, I start to feel really good about myself. And as a result, I take better care of myself through my diet, exercise, and daily routine. I love this. This is a total glow up for you, Libras. Scorpio risings. This great conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Cancer is your ninth house of your belief systems, expansion, travel, religion, spirituality. This tells me you could have this aha moment. Going to church, listening to a podcast, going on an international trip, or something from someone foreign or international. A conversation could be very healing. Later, the first week of July, Venus and Jupiter are going to move into your 10th house of career and the overall direction of your life. This is amazing for changing careers, for completely changing where you live, to change the overall course of your entire direction. There's something about your belief systems, or maybe ninth house. You're graduating from a graduate degree, a bachelor's degree, a certification program, and as a result, it really pays off starting July of this year until next year when Jupiter's in that 10th house of yours in terms of your career, and everything just falls into line after that. On the exact day, June 9th, of this conjunction, there will be a trine to the Pisces moon in your 5th house of creativity, artistic projects, children, fertility, pregnancy. If you have children, there is support from them or in your relationship to them. If you don't have children, this is more of your creative abilities are turning back on. After what may have been a tumultuous period of Uranus going through your 7th house, I think you're getting your creativity and your self-expression back, and you're learning that life can be celebrated and fun again. Sagittarius, this great conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, is in your 8th house. Inheritance, debt, shared resources, investments, sex, transformation. This is beautiful. I mean, because it's in Cancer, the sign of home, land, family, there could be an investor in buying your dream home, something going on at home, a transformation at home, moving in with family, getting closer to family, healing wounds with family. It's a beautiful, powerful one. Now, July 1st, Jupiter is going to move into Leo. Venus will be right there with it, not conjunct, but tailing behind it, into your 9th house, your house, the house of Sagittarius. Philosophy, seeing the bigger picture of things, international travel. Something tells me that the transformation, the blessing of a transformation, inheritance, investment, transformation at home, is helping you see things from a different perspective, or booking an international trip, or bringing more optimism to your mind's eye. Now, the exact day of this conjunction, June 9th, there will be a trine to the Pisces moon in your 4th house. That is the house of home. That's a Cancer house. Home, family, where you physically live. You guys are either like building a home, changing where you live. There could be children involved that are already existing or to come. Family from far away moving in with you, or you moving in with them. You guys have had, every time I read Sagittarius horoscopes, I'm like, what is going on with where you physically live? What's going on within your home, within your 4 walls? Are you building a home, buying a home, selling a home? What's going on with your family? Are you expanding it? Are you currently tending to it? There's just a lot of stuff going on there with that 4th house. Capricorn risings, this great conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Cancer is blessing your 7th house of marriage, partnership, love, and relationships. Simply put, you get married, you get engaged. Are you getting a divorce? That's a blessing for both people involved. What's going on? There's something there with love. If it's not romance, which I'm leaning towards it being that, but if it's not, it's probably a business partnership, someone you're starting a business or an idea with. There's a blessing there. And because it's Cancer, it could be family support coming in for you and your business partner. Now, later on, the first week of July, Jupiter and Venus will move into Leo, blessing a brand new area of life, your 8th house of investment. So, okay, maybe I take that back. Maybe this is more of a business partnership. But the 8th house, irregardless, is the house of great transformation. So whatever relationship decisions are made during this blessing in your 7th house, tell me that they radically transform your relationship to trust, sex, intimacy, and sharing money with someone, whether it's romantic or business-wise. Now, the exact day of the conjunction, June 9th, there is a trine to the moon in Pisces in your 3rd house. This is the mind, mental, communication, speaking. So there is great support from this transformation, from this healing to your mind and the way you think and speak about yourself, your environment, and the relationships around you. Wow, Capricorns, now that I say this out loud, you're doing some serious healing inside out, which tells me that this conjunction is the beginning of the end when it comes to feeling more cynical or pessimistic or mistrusting of relationships in your life. I love this for you. This is awesome. Aquarius rising, the big Venus conjunct Jupiter and Cancer blessing is in your 6th house of health. Yes, love a good 6th house blessing. This is holistic health. This is my day-to-day routine needs to change. Because it's in Cancer, I'm going to say it could be your living situation. Again, there could be changing up how you live, where you live, family support to help your health. Maybe a family member moves in to help you with the health ailment and it turns out beautifully. A pet, this is the house of pets, our soulmates, if you will. Helping your health, encouraging you to have better health. Either way, there's happy, abundant energy when it comes to coworkers, pets, and day-to-day routine. If you guys have been looking to find a diagnosis or find a supplement or find a daily routine that helps you feel better physically, this is more than likely it. If you have a pet that maybe is about to pass away from old age, it could be a blessing to finally see them find relief, or the most obvious definition of this would be a new pet coming in. Now, later on, the first week of July, Jupiter and Venus will be moving into Leo, which is your 7th house of partnership and relationships. Guys, this is the transit, Jupiter especially. Going into the 7th house of marriage, I either see engagement, marriage, babies, or divorce. Now, divorce is only, it's something, if you've already felt it coming, then it's there. It's not shocking. It's not, that's more Uranus. This is just like, oh man, I've been going back and forth, don't know when the time is right, the time will be right. But this, with Venus involved, is more happiness, abundance, blessing in that 7th house. Sorry, Jackson got scared from a deer outside. Now, the interesting part, to add more layers to this, is it could be a business partnership, a contract you sign for a business deal, something to do with work. And passion, a passion project especially, because you guys have that 5th house Uranus transit. There's a trine, supportive energy, to the moon in Pisces on June 9th, the exact day of this conjunction, in your 2nd house of hidden talents, earned income. So there is support either from a romantic spouse, partnership, relationship, or a business partnership and contract that increases money. 2nd house, support, and increases your self-worth and self-confidence. This is really cool. And Pisces, last but never least, you have Venus conjunct Jupiter and Cancer blessing your 5th house of children, creativity, artistic projects, and you guys are the artistes of the zodiac, fertility, creating a project. This is the house of the womb, When you put a creative project out there, you finish a painting or an album or a book, you're like, that's my baby. I'm putting my baby out into the world. I hope it's received with loving arms. Same thing. It's either a literal baby or it's a creative project that you've been working on for a while, baby. But Venus and Jupiter are blessing this 5th house. This is beautiful if you're single and dating. If you met someone recently and you're in Pisces love, this is a wonderful time to up the commitment. If you have children or you're trying to conceive, chef's kiss for conception, for pregnancy, for happiness with the children you already have. It could be adult children. I'll throw adult children in there as well. This is just saying fun in the sun with my family. Because it's Cancer, it could be moving closer to family or family moving closer to you. I love a good 5th house blessing. Now, Venus and Jupiter are going to move into Leo the first week of July, into your 6th house of the day-to-day routine, coworkers, pets, and your health. When Jupiter and Venus move into that, you're feeling good. You love your new daily routine. There's a coworker that could be super fun and you love it. So there's some connection to the blessing in the 5th into the 6th house. And again, if this is less family and more creative projects, you may find that this creative blessing moves into the 6th house of, oh, it went viral and now it's my day-to-day work routine. Oh, it was received greatly. So now I need to, 6th house, do this every single day because it did so well. That's what it could be. Now, the last layer is the moon is in Pisces on June 9th, the exact day of this blessing in your first house of self. It's supporting a new you. You guys just had Saturn and Neptune going through your first house since 2012 with Neptune. It's been a long time of figuring out who am I and what is my place in this world. Something tells me that this blessing, I got truth bumps. This blessing is really solidifying the answer to that for you. Oh, Pisces, this was so earned, not given. I hope you enjoy. Okay, everybody, thank you for listening to this one-off episode about the blessing of Venus conjunct Jupiter. Again, if you're going through a tough time right now, you don't feel a blessing, that is okay. Either way, you may look back on this time and see that is when everything changed, whether it was enjoyable change or put my head down and get to work through pushing through the difficulty of whatever may be going on with this change. I want to reiterate that. If you guys would like to look at this conjunction and talk about it on your chart, I know I'm booked until July, but we can reflect back on what happened and pull it into all the other aspects of how the planets are playing with it. Be sure to visit astrology-lounge.com, and I will see you guys on the next podcast episode. We got a lot to talk about this week. Venus in Leo. We've got the new moon in Gemini coming in quick next Sunday, June 14th. Stay tuned, subscribe. Sending so much love from Twin Moon Ranch. I'll see you soon. Bye.